and what we present is universal, and it's not just for this particular theater. It's useful in many different places. So I n- need help from you. I need
Hmm.
uh, w- once a week is no longer enough for the stage we're at now. I need a more frequent
Hmm.
call cadence.
Yeah. Just name it, whatever is useful for you. I
Every
was
second.
backing, well, as we discussed, I was backing off a bit because you had a ton of backlog
Yeah,
to
but
get
it's
through.
also I need a faster cadence because I need some feedback, and I'm at the stage where I need uh encouragement, for lack of a better word, because it's at the we're at the stage where we're putting things together, and it's easy to put them together wrong or for the wrong reason, or to miss something that we've spoken about. Like, the components that we needed have been assembled, they work now. We now need to put them together in the way that we want, and we need to
Right.
surface them or present them, and I need help with that.
Yeah, yeah. I'm available, um, well, daily if you want it. It's
Okay,
down
can
to
we
you.
do?
If you're saying that you've done the deep dive, then
Yep.
let's go back to our previous cadence of the kind of daily thing.
Daily
Or,
thing,
you know,
daily thing would be
uh,
great. It can be just very short. Anyway, I find it's really good for motivation as well, because I'm like, I gotta get onto this thing. Um, if we could do daily, and then we'll just message when it's not suitable or something comes up. If that's cool, that would be
yep,
amazing.
yep, that's absolutely fine. Been looking forward to this bit.
Yeah, this is the grubby part. Um,
Yeah, I do recognize that you had to do some heavy lifting of the back end stuff
it was awful.
where,
I'm not
you
even
know,
gonna when I address that.
yeah.
It was horrible, but we're here.
You,
So
you're not going to
here,
get PTSD on it or anything.
fucking hell. Um, right. So where we're at, we've got Artifact with a reasonably performant, reasonably stable back end that
Hmm.
runs in Stacklet's a Stacklet starter. Right. So I made a little starter thing that works in that just works in Stacklets. And so
Hmm.
from that, you should be able to vibe code whatever you need. And I got it down to being just this one import. You import Artifact Client, the package, and then off you bloody well go, basically. So I'll
Is
give you
this
a
just
run.
is this browser based? So I just need to go into bolt.new
Yeah,
with that URL.
yeah. Now it is
Right, I'm logging.
it's not prompted, so the bot doesn't know enough about Artifact that it keeps shooting itself in the foot. So it still needs the
Hmm.
knowledge, but the fact is it's there, and I am working on providing the knowledge. The knowledge will come by way of building out simple components. So here, for example, inside bolt.new is a repo browser that I made so that you could browse the repos that you have. And so if the starter pack includes a bunch of ways to do things like create new repos and all that, then my assumption, my hope is that when you chat to bolt.new with your feature, it will recognize these patterns and apply them throughout. So your results will improve.
Oh, that was important. Can you go over that again, just so I understand?
Yep.
With usage, it improves.
Well, so for example,
How's that done?
allow me to just zoom this thing in here. I would say for you, but also I can't see it. So here's the starter pack that I made, which is basically bare bones artifact that you can fork it and do whatever you want from it. Now, the critical piece is blah blah blah. This bit, the app ID, and the second critical bit is this bit, the branch that you want to talk to in the repo. So once you have those two specific pieces in there, all that's really required is these little bits of code that call on the hooks that access the artifact data and do different things, right? And so right now, Bolt.new knows nothing about how to use the artifact library that I made because it's very recently been published and there's not a lot of examples around on the net and all that, so it doesn't know it. But here, for example, is where I've used the library to create extra things. And so because I showed it how to code with the library, if it has those usages in context, it will give you back examples that mimic or copy or clone how those things go. So that'll make the chance that it gets it right first time will be better.
Right. Good.
What I'm finding with my initial experiments is that it's best to make your UI first without any kind of hint of using Artifact. And once you got your UI correct, then you start connecting up Artifact to it. So that seems to be the best.
And that sounds like that's a prompting.
Yeah.
In order to get the UI, or is it coding?
Prompting to get the UI. You just prompt the UI, get it looking how you want with the buttons and stuff, and only then you start connecting up Artifact. And so even if you were giving me UIs that you're like, I like this UI, and you want it connected up to Artifact, that's a great discussion to have. That's very useful because that's a good use of my time. Is okay, I'm going to connect that up now, and I'm going to modify the prompt so that later you don't have to ask me anymore. It just kind of does it.
Got it. Okay. Can you do a walkthrough of
Sure.
A very simple prompt or UI rather?
You mean how to generate a UI?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's start with doing the one that we want now. How would you describe the UI that we want for our task at hand?
To generate at least one repo with multiple people involved. Let's keep it flat for now. Let's keep it simple. So you're either in or out, but at least you've got a repo at the back end.
So what does this page do? It's a way for who's using this page? Is it?
So if with the organization we're just talking to, it's like go here, sign up.
So you want a landing page for new people to come? You're like, hey, I just heard about this org on the internet. I'm coming here.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
And then, but what's it going to do then once you landed?
Once it's there, then a repo or multiple repos, if that's easy enough to do. But project A, project B, project C, and then they can go in and have a look at the files inside that.
I'm still not able to picture what you're talking about. I can sort of sniff it, like I sort of know.
Yeah, I'm just thinking, someone turning up who knows nothing about it other than an invite goes, okay, right. So sign up page, right.
Okay.
The next thing you see is list of projects.
this is
Let's
currently
have a
the
look
sign
at.
up page as I've got it. Okay, you come in and this is the first thing you see. Now, we can make it so that in the background you could have, whatever stuff you wanted, like here's Tifu, here's this, that, and the other thing. And then when you click to sign in, this is where it's now time to sign in.
Yep.
Right? And then
Yep.
here I'm signing in with a MetaMask wallet just because it means I don't have to check my email, which is great.
Yep. That's a very short password.
It's a very short account. And I sign in. I'm like, yep, signed in. And now I've signed in with MetaMask. Ta-da. Ta-da. And now this is one repo. And this is
Right.
the files in the repo. Even though I don't know what the hell happened to that. But that's kind of the gist of it. And so here, for example, is where that type of sign-in would be used to say, well, I can make a new repo called project 1, create project 1. Got some files. Okay, cool. I got source, I got this file, that file, blah, blah. But you want to see something about people, right? Because here's my account down here. But how do we, this is a people management problem, right? Like we want to have these repos and you attach people to them. There needs to be a landing zone where people come and you're like, what the hell is even going on here?
Right. Yep.
Yeah.
And I think when we were previously talking about that, we talked about whether that is specific to an org, or whether it's generic. And then once you're in, you go, right, I want to talk to this org. And then you go into, right, now we're only talking about this org.
Right. So I think that
then
it can
if it's-
be, now just, if you just hear me out here, this is a little bit long-winded, but I hope to give you something of value. So here I've got these repos, right?
Mhm.
There's a way that you can do some cool stuff where you can take, you can basically take Stackblitz, and I can put a little button like this, open in Stackblitz, and it can be, associated with the project, and you're like, open in Stackblitz. And what that means is that any org can take their org repo and can immediately start coding a front end for it so that people will come in, they'll be logged into the broader Dreamcatcher platform, but when they land, they hit the landing page that, they hit the landing page that the organization put up.
Yeah, precisely, because you want to be reassured because of logo, branding, that you're in the right place.
Right. And so,
yeah,
so you'd go through our generic front end login, which would be like Dreamcatcher, blah, blah, blah. You log in, and then it will redirect you to this org page, I suppose.
the org being your personal list of things or orgs that you're
Well,
involved
it'd
with.
be like if a particular org invited you in, then you should, once you've completed the sign up process, you should continue to be handheld by them because you came here for them.
Yeah, that's right. Refer back to a conversation about 3 conversations ago where we were talking about exactly this, and I was arguing incorrectly that, for example, TFU wanted a landing page at the start, but no, you can go through this login page, but then when you go into TFU, you go into TFU. If you go into Dreamcatcher, you go into Dreamcatcher. You know, there's a number of orgs that you could go into from that place. And then what you want to be seen with is some kind of comforting landing page saying I'm in the right place. It's like, yeah.
Yeah, right. Okay, so
I'm now talking to the TFU.
I am building a Git repo hosting app, and I want the first post login page to be the profile page with some recommended orgs to join, where orgs are like channels. When I join an org, I want to see the list of projects available and people who are associated with those projects, with some helpful head counts on each one. Then when I join it, I should see the people. And are we talking about a chat? And the chat about that project?
I don't know if
Or
that's
no?
a step too far. Ideally, yes. Not sure you're going to get in a single shot. The thing I would add there, though, is that if previously I've already joined a project or an org, then the orgs are displayed. So it's like you've already joined 3 orgs, and here are the ones you might want to consider.
So like that, right?
Yeah, no, additional is, say, last time I joined an org, I want to see a list of orgs that I'm already set up. I've joined.
Yeah, I've
I
got
want to be
that.
able to click on one of those.
I've got that. When I join an
Where's that?
org, then it should show it in I'll make that stronger, in my list of joined orgs.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Good.
Okay.
Yep.
Now,
Yep.
see, the issues, I'll let this run just so we get a feel for it, but the issues that I have are things like, where do stux fit in this model? Because we got orgs, and then an org has like projects within it, which are repos. The stux are sort of within a repo, within an org, across the universe. You know, they're all over the place. And how do I surface stux?
Yeah, we kind of talked about that last time. I don't think we came to a real good conclusion of it from the recording. The way I'm thinking about it is, if you are inside of an org, that org is a hierarchy of repos. The top
Right,
level
like this. This is an
where
org.
this. Yep. So the stux kind of all percolate up inside of that, because that, if you're inside of the org, then it seems reasonable that you should see the stux across the org. Then there is the matter of exposing stux from this org 1 to org 2, or
Right.
to
So that
any
could
org.
be a separate page that was like a stux browser.
Yeah. But
Right.
if we were to go into org 1's page, if we go into org1's page,
Yeah.
and there's a bunch of projects, and then at that top level, there's a whole bunch of stocks. Here's what we're trying to do. Then that allows people involved in different projects to see the problems that other projects inside the org have got.
Okay, so here's an example. Like, I've been finding it very useful to, when I have an uncertainty, come and look at GitHub and see how they do it. So here's an
Mhm.
org. The org has a bunch of repos. You want an extra tab or something that does stocks?
Yeah. Oh, you just switched past.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
list of projects,
Yeah.
which is project equals repo.
Project is repo. Yeah.
And then at, at this level, um, uh, maybe we probably could do some kind of AI generated hierarchy, but at the very least, it's like a stack of call outs of stocks.
So you
So
want
you
to
don't need
present the
to,
stocks right at the top here?
yeah. And the reason for that, see if you agree, is hunt and peck is a horrible way of trying to figure out whether, sorry, I should just do it myself.
Right. So where should I
Um,
put things
so
like
it's,
chat? Like, how do you want to chat with the projects, right? You want to chat with all these things. How do I do that?
I think there's a chat at the each repo level, including the org repo. So then you get a natural
So is it like a
hierarchy of
three box
chats. It's
UI
like,
thing where there's the chat down the side and you're like this chat thing is guiding you? It's like you come in and then it's like, "Hey, this is the TFU org page. Do you want to join?" And you're like, "Hang on, not so fast. Tell me about them. What's their stats? Blah, blah, blah." And then you chat to your agent on the platform. It guides your decision. And then you're like, it's the agent's like, "Hey, do you want me to apply for you? I can negotiate with them to let you in." And then you're like, "Yep, sure." Then when you come in, you're like, "Okay, I'm level 0. I'm entry level. I just walked in the door. How do I gain rank?"
yep,
Right? And
yep,
then the
yeah.
bot
And because we've
tells
got
you.
that hierarchy of, yeah, and because of that hierarchy of repos, the project may have a landing repo, like hey, right, this is my our README, and that's where people go
Okay,
to
but
talk to the
what
entire
can
project.
we just explore the agentic side of things a little more? What if the
Hmm.
org had
Yeah.
an agent? And so you've got your agent, you come into the Dreamcatcher and there's your default agent. You can customize that, that's a whole nother story. But you've got this agent, it's helping you earnestly navigate the Dreamcatcher world. You've ended up
Hmm.
with, in your state board is displaying the TFU. And
Hmm.
then you, instead of a README, the TFU has an agent. And you can either talk to that agent or your agent can talk to the agent on behalf.
Yes, absolutely. Uh, in fact, anywhere there's a search, that should be replaced by an agent.
Okay, so here's your
Um,
one shot. This is what got one shotted just then.
oh, shit.
So this is this is a project within the org. I could join the project. Oh yeah, I'm a member. Oh, there's a chat. Okay. Fuck. What else did I get? Team member. Who's this guy? I don't fucking know him. Blah 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 blah. This is me. Okay, project chat. All right. no. Fallen off the internet. Hey, bud, you back?
Yo,
Hey, bud.
sorry about that.
All good.
Very, very boring thing with dog escape.
Oh dear.
Uh, anyway, dealt
All
with.
right. So, this was the flop from that thing. But it sounds like we got to have actually, we're talking about a chat interface, which kind of makes it a lot easier for the participant to be part of the Dreamcatcher, but engaging with an org. So they come in, and the platform that they're engaging with is the agent chat that they're having. And then in this state board is this the TFU's homepage, which the TFU can customize to be anything they want.
Yep. absolutely. And then when you're chatting, say inside of a project, then you're chatting to effectively that project's channel.
Right. But how does that chat look? Is it so here's the flop from the modifications to add the chat interface when it eventually loads. So here we've got our chat window down the side, and I'm like, hello, I want to join, please. And then you're chatting with the Dreamcatcher agent. What does it look like to talk to the Tfue agent?
I would
These are great
assume
questions,
that it
right?
would
Like these
be
are
the same. I
what?
know.
No, because
My start
that's
for 10 would be the same.
yeah. But where did the Tfue
There's a
agent go?
different.
Like, did the Tfue agent join the fucking call here?
No, because then you're worried about leakage.
Well, if it's a
Um,
controlled bot, like if the Dreamcatcher bot's always in control, then having another agent come in is fine because it's all
well, yeah,
controlled
but
messaging.
it, it is. But then you need to convince people it's fine. Whereas
Uh,
top left Dreamcatcher agent, if that was replaced, saying you're now talking to Tfue agent, then it's like, okay, right. So I don't have to worry about leaking anything. Um, so then,
nah, because this is
no,
it's supposed to be that everyone interacts with the whole platform via their agents, right? Because that's just a better way to
it
interact.
is. But do you want to do that? Do you want to do that all the time, or do you ever want to
Well,
have like
you
a
you kind of want it
secret
with you, right?
kind of?
Like you want you want to be able to talk to Tfue, but you want to have your assistant right there. You know,
Um,
because it seems weird.
I know I'm not. Yeah, I get you. I don't know what the answer is to this one actually.
But these are the
I guess
questions
we'll
I
have to
need
look
help
at
with.
usage,
These are the
but
questions I need help with because it's all well and good to be like, yeah, we'll just have these projects, and I'm like, yeah, okay, and then where does this
yeah.
bit go? So this is a great
The thing
call to be
is,
having.
top left hand corner. If I was talking to that chat stream, and the
Here,
top left hand corner said
yeah,
Dreamcatcher agent,
yeah,
I wouldn't expect any other agent to be looking over my shoulder
right.
unless
You'd expect that to be
it
that's
did something
purely
like,
you.
yeah, but I wouldn't mind if it also said Dreamcatcher agent, TFU agent, Project A, TFU agent are all on the line. Um,
Oh crumbs.
but
Um. Yep. So how do you want to do that?
and
So
and then perhaps even you want to kick off, you know, right? Okay,
Do we do
Dreamcatcher
we
agent, fuck
have
off.
do we have a concept of chats down the side here where there's like a list of your previous chats?
Yes, and I think that works well with the model we're going with Signal. So the your chats and everyone else's chats um, are displayed dependent on which project you are currently displaying. So if you're looking into Project A, you're looking at Project A chats. Um, this
Nah,
reminds me of
nah, 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 nah. Because a chat
reminds me of
should be
something.
able. The key difference that we're trying to present here, beyond just being GitHub, because I wake up in the night sometimes being like, oh my god, I just made a crappy GitHub, right? Like the thing that makes
Yeah.
us different is the fact that you can talk across everything all at once using these agents. And now,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
So the
I'm not.
chats
I'm
the
not.
chats are with you. They are
Yeah.
in relation to you the person, and they can be as wild and varied as you like.
Yeah. But I guess the thing I'm saying is you don't want any hidden agents that you don't know about
Correct.
because
So
then
how
you're going to
about
start
this then? How
self-censoring.
about this side is always your safe zone, right? And the state board is where it's dirty, right? It's unprotected. You're engaging with the world, but this side is always safe. So when you go to chat with a project, it's a chat. It's actually a chat in here, and you can type directly, or you can say to your agent, "Hey, agent, can you tell that project to go? Can you tell Tifu to shut the fuck up?" Like, and then it
That's
would
interesting.
act on your behalf.
So, yeah, so what you could do, maybe, um, I'm just thinking this through.
I
Down the
think that's the
left-hand
thing.
side, this is your private chat,
Yeah,
and you're
your platform
talking to
chat.
the agents, and yeah, and those agents, it would be polite to say which agents are available.
Right, but you
Remember
configure
when
that,
we were
right? Like
doing
you start with the Dreamcatcher agent,
right?
and then if you want to modify the Dreamcatcher agent or bring in different agents, that's what you do, but it's not part of the regular operation. Like, this is back chat. This is the backstage
Yeah,
privileged
yeah, yeah,
admin level
yeah,
chat,
yeah,
right?
exactly.
And when you chat
So
with a
in that,
project,
I
it's
want
in the state board.
yeah. So in the on the left-hand side, what I'd want to be able to do is, hey, can I talk to Project A's agent, please? And then
So let's
the
see. Hey, can I? Oh, actually,
exactly with you remember what we were doing with Backchat? It's like, right, I want to talk to this agent now.
hey, can I talk to Project A's agent, please? But what do you want? What do you want it to
Yeah.
do then?
Well, then it allows in at the top left-hand. Again, I'm just doing this on the fly, so
I
don't
don't
take too much
think that you
feedback.
should let agents
Um,
come into this chat. This is the protected chat. This is the platform. I think that if you wanted to
yeah,
chat
but
with the agent, it would happen in the stateboard window, where a window would open up here in the middle that is like, "Hi, I'm the Platform A agent. How can I help you, please?" And then you can either type directly
yeah.
or you can tell it. You're like, um, "Hey, can you tell that Platform A agent to unsubscribe me from all this and never talk to me again? And furthermore, can you add it to my blocked list because I think that they suck,"
Oh, right. Here's a way
right?
to do that then. Um, at the moment, we've got Dreamcatcher agent.
Yeah,
If that was my agent, as in, you know,
that is supposed to be
random
that.
Scots
Yeah,
dude agent, yeah,
your
as
home
opposed
agent.
to anything specific. And it's like I have complete control over that.
Yeah,
Then all I need to do is to trust the platform to say nobody else gets to see anything that I'm chatting
yeah,
about
yeah.
here.
That's you. That's just that's your
Um,
private chat. Yeah,
yeah, but I can ask the project agent. I can ask my personal agent about projects, saying, "Hey, I've got this thing going on."
yeah,
But when I move to talking to the project agent, then that is distinct. It looks visually distinct.
yeah. But hang on, I think you're
It's
still stuck
obviously
on you. You want the chat with the project agent to occur in this left-hand panel, right?
no. I was thinking more
Center
about
panel,
a right-hand
stateboard.
panel or a central panel. Yeah,
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 okay. Yeah, I can get on board with that because that means that you can chat with the project agent, then we can have a different window or different panel show in the state board that is like all the previous chats that people have had with the project. You can see like a list of
yep.
who else is online. You can chat to them. I think that's the good way to go. Like, this is your private agent, and it's never ever it's always distinct from the projects that you're interacting with,
Yes,
right?
yes.
And it
And
gives
it's
you
just
how
like this is me,
yeah,
M-
but it can
me,
act
and
as you.
Jeeves.
Yeah, Jeeves or
Yeah.
whatever, right? But it can act as you so that when it engages with the projects, you no one knows that it was your agent or it was you typing directly,
Yes.
right?
Yeah. Yeah, because you might want to say, hey, inside of this org, I've done this new widget thing.
Mm.
Can you ask each of the projects, anyone find
Yeah.
this of
So it could be
use?
something quite
Or even
complex, right?
better, can you,
Like you're like,
yeah,
hey, across all 5 projects that have something to do with aeronautics, I want you to announce a new breakthrough in the propeller design that I've had because it's ready to go,
yeah,
right? And then
yeah,
that now the agent goes off, it grinds through the work, and it's like ding, 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 and it does all the postings for you and whatever. Okay,
yeah.
all right. So where do your
I
email
think,
messages come in?
well, before we go into emails, I think
Okay,
it sounds like Stux flop out quite easily to that because, okay, you've got the U-bot um, that can crawl over any bot or any messaging or any org that you've been accepted into
right, right, right. That's
your
right.
organization
That's
stuff.
right. That's
Yeah,
right.
and so the Stux, if you got a stuck, then it needs to be it's like, okay, right, I've got this stuck across these organizations. I've already got clearance for all of this. Um, it seems like Stux is a factor of the U-bot. It's like you talking to the U-bot saying, right,
Right. But if
U-bot
I
here,
okay, so if I come into the U-bot and I say, show me all the stucks that have to do with the tensile strength of nylon, then I would expect
well, there's,
now that the state board would change into the stuck navigator and it would have been
yep,
configured and it would start grinding its way through and you'd be able to watch different threads of the agent do different LLM queries to figure out, hey, is this talking about nylon or this or that, right?
yeah, and it would include organizations that have some gatekeeper role. That'd be included, but it also include organizations that had no gatekeeper role that were just completely awesome or open source. Um,
Yep. Okay, so
which would
I
include
got
people
two
in
follow-up
search.
questions. The first one is around naps and where they get listed and installed. And the second is how do we represent or program an agent of a project where for example, there could be background agents that run within the platform that attempt to deduplicate projects. So you would have this org and it's got agents configured which are not naps, but they are naps. But god damn it. So agents are
Yeah,
a
you know
special
how
form
to.
of nap.
I'm sorry, man. Could you
Yep.
ask a harder question? Just try a bit. I mean, uh, I don't know. Let me think that through.
Could I ask a
The
harder
installation
question?
of naps. I was being ironic or sarcastic. I can't remember which. Um,
I'll
so
tell
the
you what I think
installation.
it should be. What I think it should be is that
Okay.
when you go to an org or when you go to a project or an org, there's a permissions
Hmm.
tab which lets you set like who's in, who's out, and what role do they have. At least I can say
That's
purple
easy for you to
burglar
say.
alarm.
Yeah.
It it what role they can have, but then separately there's a tab that says what naps are installed on the project, which is to say which ones are allowed to run and by what roles. So who can run the launch the nuclear missile nap, and who can run the get the weather app. And then separately, I believe it needs to be separately to naps, is the agents that are installed that are attached to that project. And one of them might be the news crawler or the dedupe finder, the project reaper. And these agents are empowered to sort of grind over anything that the project has purview of, performing their tasks, such as looking for overlaps and comments, looking for new recruits so that they can sort of get up the rankings. So when fresh blood comes in, they're like, oh, yep, this guy, that guy, the human bidder, where it's like, oh,
I would agree with that.
yeah,
So, let me think that through a second. We need to watch our terminology between naps and agents.
I think that
But
yeah,
yes,
agents are
there's like
a special kind of nap, but
they're unseen.
well, they are seen because you could talk to them, but they could be unseen because it's like I think they deserve special treatment because of the fact that they include intelligence, whereas just a nap doesn't include intelligence. It's just regular code.
Yeah, this is where terminology gets in. We've got two sort of things. You just talked about regular code, which is
Yeah,
executed when asked.
yeah. That's
And
deterministic
you've
code.
got and then you've got natural language apps
Yeah,
which can talk to each other in the background.
right.
Some of those natural language apps would be the front-facing ones,
Yeah.
but you could go in and query the back office natural language apps. But what you can't do is go and mess around with the deterministic apps.
Well, the deterministic apps, the classical apps, they don't take natural language inputs. That's really the
Right.
in the way that I
Yeah.
program naps. That's the only difference. Like an agent is one that can take in a string, and it's like you can give it any string,
Yeah.
but that's all it can take. That's also
Yeah.
its curse. It can only take
Yeah.
natural language
But
in.
a NAP, because a NAP was originally a natural language app.
Yeah, I think it's progressed a bit, but yeah, that was a NAP is now the package format, and I think we need to rebrand it or rename it as a just
deterministic app.
Natural app. Like it's a natural. Fuck, I don't really know, but natural language. It's gone beyond that. The NAP format is this way of having a universal. It's a universal standardized application interface thing. Naps is just an easy to say word, and natural.
Yeah.
It does actually feel like a very natural app.
Yeah. And the last thing I want to do is have to go through or you to go through the code and rename naps. So let's roll with that.
Right.
But yeah, this is why I'm saying how we're talking about these things has kind of switched a bit. So a nap now is a piece of deterministic code that can be tasked by an agent. An agent can talk to a person or other agents.
Yep, but a human can also trigger the nap too.
Yes, because you could just run the process.
Yeah,
just do it.
Yeah,
do it. Just copy this.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
So this agent, this agent, the U agent, is related with your home repo or your actor repo. That's where you configure it and modify it and mess around with it. We'll give you a default. It's trusted, it's private, it sees everything you can see, it can act on your behalf. You can turn it off. Then
or just ignore it. Yeah.
Yeah. Then each project can have its own naps attached to it, with different permissions and roles. As well, they can have their own agents attached that perform different tasks on behalf of the organization.
So here's a thought. I'm sure it rolls into what you just said. In my personal agent, I say, can you ask the React state manager what the changes have been over the last 24 hours and whether any of them I should be concerned with based on my contribution? Um, so then we've got your U agent talking
Mm,
to the project itself as a
mm.
thing, and
Yep,
that project is an agent.
yep.
And then I'll come back saying, yeah, sure. So, here's all the changes that you might be interested in.
Right. So that's a case where the agent went off on a task, and to complete that task, it couldn't do it just by reading the data that was available to it in the network of repos, hierarchical and peers. And so it needed to talk to some of the agents of some projects. Like there may have been projects that it was an entry level member of, but it wanted to know, hey, guys, just checking, is anyone working on albatross eggs as in replacement for chicken eggs? And then the
Yeah,
the
yeah,
agent would be like, I can't give you access to all the information, but in the interest of the project, no, nobody has considered albatross eggs. And then right,
yeah, exactly. And you could smush that up because it's natural language talking to the U agent,
yeah,
saying all the projects that have to do with React, anyone need an albatross egg?
right. You can also like
And then
offer
it
and
would go,
advertise across the board, right? And then as
yeah,
these like resource scavenging agents crawl the offer boards, and they're like, yep, we do. And then they start pulling in resources for the project and handling that onboarding and that skills matching, and they start like asking for funds and all that. Okay, this is starting to feel
right.
unstuck now.
And well, yes, I agree. And on the subject of stocks, then it would be reasonable for you to ask the U agent, uh, um, globally, of all the projects, give me a complete list of everything people are stuck on right now. And that U agent would talk to each project agent saying, what are your stocks? What are your stocks? What are your stocks?
Right. And so
So that's stuck
while
discovery.
that job is executing, you would see it in the state board. So down the side somewhere, you'd be able to see the jobs that have been asked for and your previous chats with the U agent. And then in the
Yep.
state board would be a detailed breakdown of the current progress of the current job, where it's going through. It's got its partial intermediate results, it's got its next steps, it's got what it's doing. Basically, the thinking that you see in O3 is sort of what's showing up here. And this is the agent going about its work. And then when it comes back, it's done. Right? But
Yes.
that's a
And
distinct widget. So in this widget, see here we've got like this is the profile widget, and over here we've got this is an org widget. Is this still holding together
yep.
this scenario?
Yeah. 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 It
I
is.
can navigate within the widgets like I am doing here, where I go into a project widget and back to my profile widget, but they are ultimately controlled by the UBot, which says what to show on screen depending on what I've asked for, just like the Canvas tool in an OpenAI chat.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Now, the next obvious question is, does a stuck have an agent?
No, a stuck is a free floating thing. You can have agents that aggregate stucks, and people can task an agent to promote and push forwards on the stuck, but the stuck is independent or inert relative to the agents. the stuck acts as an
Right.
index
At the
card,
time of reading.
an address. It's a
Yeah.
findable thing. It's not an entity within itself. It's not an agent. It's a marker or a pointer. It's a
So it's the
shortcut.
U-bot. If you say, tell me everything that's happened over the last week in this stuck, it's
Yeah.
going to look at the static record of that stuck. It's
Yeah.
not going to talk to another agent.
No, that's right. That's
Okay.
right. That's right.
That works. That works.
And then if it can't
Okay.
access the static record, it might talk to the next closest agent, where it's like, hey, Lockheed Skunkworks, any stucks about albatrosses? And it, depending on the agent settings, it might be like, absolutely not, there's no albatross anythings. And you're like, cool,
Yeah.
that's useful, thank you.
Yeah. However, we do have a Gannet project that you might be interested in.
Right. And then sort of, even a couple of years later, someone on high says, albatrosses is the thing. And then it's like, hey, didn't you talk to a guy about an albatross? And then you'd get sort of pinged about it because they're like, how'd you get on? These agents start negotiating. All right.
Which comes to the other thing, because at the moment, this layout is passive in that you can ask for stuff, but nothing's getting pushed.
How would I push something?
So, just exactly that example. 6 months later, you've been talking about albatrosses. Nobody's interested. 6 months later, everyone's interested, and it's like your agent will say, "Hey, albatrosses are now all the vogue. Everyone's talking about them." Where you do that on the screen real estate?
Oh man, sorry, one more time. Can you ask the question again?
Yeah, so I've been talking about albatrosses 6
Yeah.
months ago. Nobody's interested.
Yeah.
6 months later, everyone becomes interested in albatrosses.
Yeah.
I don't want to have to go to my U agent every day saying, "Anyone want an albatross?"
Right. So that would be
a
a message. So this is emails or messaging, right? Where there's like it's one of the core apps of your home repo that is the messaging, the inbox. Just like when you are a Linux user, you naturally have a mailbox on the system, even though it's may not be an internet mailbox. Everyone has a mailbox, and you can get messages in, and you can send them out to other users, and that's kind of what.
Yes. But the thing with notifications is usually the noise coming from other people that pushes stuff onto your notifications. You get
No, but here it's processed by the agent, and you might say, show me, give me a summary of what's going on in the world, and then part of that it would show a dashboard, and then part of that would be like, you've had a request from blah blah blah. Or if the agent knew you well enough, it might be like, hey, albatross guy, everyone's into albatrosses now, check this out. And it would give you like a nice summary.
Exactly. It's a bit like asking your U-bot, hey man, what's changed? What's new? What should I care about?
Okay. Now here's an example of the project chat. So if I said into U-bot, hey, I want to chat to this project in the forum with other people versus talking to the agent in private, then I can be saying things like, hey, who is into albatross seas? And then now I'm chatting with other people. All those messages can be processed by each individual's agent plus the project agent plus the org agent.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, because you're in the concept space of albatrosses.
Yeah.
You're not in any particular project.
That's the thing.
You
Yeah,
don't want to have to
that's what
hunt
I'm
and
trying to get
peck.
at. Like it's like universal idea space does not fit into buckets like projects, orgs, and whatever. It's everything all the time, everything everywhere all the time. And that's the
Yeah.
heart of the system. And that's why your Ubot is the everything everywhere all the time bot. It's aware of everything. You don't it
Yes.
right? Whereas GitHub
Yeah.
tries to
Yeah.
funnel you and box you. It's like, no, you're on this project now. And you're like, but this other thing, right?
Yeah.
And it's all
And
built against it.
exactly. And who's into albatrosses would look into perhaps there's some orgs that you're a member of that they are into albatrosses or not. Maybe there are other orgs that you're not a member of, which you just want something back saying, hey, Kenyan project wants an albatross. Uh, so it can go and highlight orgs that you might want to get involved in, stocks
Right.
that you might be able to be used to,
Right.
or responses from your own stock.
Right. And then from here,
Um,
we can also start having like code developing tools. So you can have like a workbench where you're working on.
yeah, those are useful, but I think they're not the core, are they?
No, they're not. It's just the framework is there, right? That's just the 3-box UI thing.
Yeah, it's just it's helpful. It's helpful, isn't it? Um, okay. Hmm. I like this. The U-bot is basically you're talking to yourself, except yourself is the one who can see everything.
Yeah.
And if you trust the U-bot, um, then you've got projects that you're involved in, sure, but you don't have to hunt and peck around all the projects, looking in each channel. But
Yeah.
also you can ask open questions
Right.
like, "Hey, how about we strap a grenade to an albatross?"
Right. But but additionally, the platform supports these agents that are running all the time that do the project management. So you can get rid of
Yeah,
that's really the key that I want to deliver from us is like here's a project that's controlled by a bot. You come in when the bot says you come in and you get kicked out when the bot says you get kicked out. The job is done when the bot says the job is done. That's the thing I want to bring to everyone.
yeah, and you still want to be able to uh, um, DM people, talk to groups, and that sort of thing. But you can do that inside of Viewbot, right? You can
Yeah,
just
so
say,
Ubot there, you'd be
"Hey,
like, pull up the global directory, and then it's like, here's everybody, and you're like,
yeah,
show me all the people with one eye, and you're like, yep, there you go. Do you want me to keep looking for people? Like that's it. That's the
yeah," and then it's like one-eyed man: "Hey, dude, you've got one eye. Would you like another one?"
yeah. You'd be like,
And
I
that was
thought of this really
exactly to
funny
it.
joke about and I want you to test it on 10 one-eyed people to make sure it's funny. And
Oh man, I was discussing this with Max the other day, and I was talking about Five Eyes security,
yeah,
and
well, we got
it's just like an 18-year-old is saying, "How many countries are in Five Eyes?" It's like five. It's like, so has everyone got one eye, or have you got like two countries with two eyes and like one with one? He's like squinting. He's like, it was hilarious. Uh, but the point being, the U-bot is you that you can talk to yourself. It's like an inner monologue.
yeah,
If
yeah,
you're being your best self,
yeah,
but you can trust that and never goes anywhere else. But you can also reach out and say, "Hey, one-eyed people, I've got this great idea for a black patch that makes you look like a pirate. and it would give you a list based on where it can scrape, based on projects that you can see and open source projects that everyone can see. It's like, well, anyone mentioned that they've got one eye. It's like, hey, Maria Lopez has one eye. It's like, pop up, and then you DM them. But again, you DM them from that one left-hand panel, which is basically you. And you can also leave it up to the bot. You could say something like, I've not got anything back from Maria. If she does get back, can you just say, hey, yeah, let's talk, and then you can go for your dinner.
Yeah.
I like the concept that that left-hand panel is you.
Yeah.
You and your,
Team of trusted people.
superhero power.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's like a superhero power, isn't it?
Yeah.
You can see everything, but that is basically you. And then on the right-hand side, the state board is the context of what you're talking about. So
Yeah.
you can drill down.
Yeah. And so this acts like your navigator because, like GitHub, like this is a busy page. You've got you got a drop down menu. You got a bunch of tabs. You got this other fucking,
it must have been. I never really used GitHub seriously until about 2 years ago. I remember when I first looked, and I'm not even close to your, standard in terms of knowing what the fuck's going on. It's kind of tricky.
It's busy. It's a busy interface.
It doesn't help, does it?
No.
It doesn't
And
help.
so we're saying that we would have a very simplistic view, and it's really you're just viewing tools. So you're just viewing widgets, and some of those widgets can be smart. Like you could have nested browsers or shared browsers. Some of them could be a video call.
Mm-hmm.
It could be anything at all. But it's always in the context of these orgs and these repos, whatever you're doing, right? Because that's how you organize the knowledge and the permissions.
You remember when we were doing the state change of which agent you're talking to?
Yeah.
I know you're now primarily talking to, well, you're only talking to the you agent. Is there, I think we had like a red banner at the top. You're now talking to this agent. I wonder if there's something needed still to
they
say
could.
you're now talking in this context.
Maybe, but that's a nightmare, as we found out. So we should launch without that, because that's definitely a stuck. I guess the interface we just discussed seems within our grasp to get it together, to chat it up using Bolt and then connect it up to Artifact. It seems a feasible thing.
Yeah, I agree.
And then all we got to do is get the stuck loop up. Then we can host our own repositories within Artifact, i.e. the NAPS tooling. And then from there, we're like, okay, we're bootstrapped. We're running our own code on our own platform, hosting it.
Well, we're just another project inside.
Yeah, we're just another project. And then we've got all these stucks, and then we can introduce money. The stucks get solved, the chats get better. And that's probably the start of the Dreamcatcher. Like, what else is it going to be other than just more polish on that?
Well, yeah, exactly. The rest is bells and whistles, isn't it?
Yeah, right? And just evolution. Like, it feels like it's just sort of different skins on top of the same fundamental structure. Repos, parent-child relationships, authorization, roles, NAPS.
Yeah, but we inherit a lot of how can you trust the you agent for you. We inherit a lot from the platform work you've been doing.
Yeah. That's kind of the key, right? That's sort of the non-obvious key is like, how do I trust that thing? And you're like, well, while we're running it, it's only as good as how much you trust us, but here's how you can run it yourself. And then,
Yeah. Yeah, precisely.
all right. Well,
Okay.
I'll leave it at that if that's
I think
cool. That
it's
sounds like stuff to do.
yeah. What's the what tempo would you like? I can make daily until you get much of
How
a
about every
backlog,
second day?
or
Like, if you can give me a call again on
on Wednesday.
Wednesday,
Yeah.
that would be awesome.
Yep. Can do that. And Friday also works. Yeah.
Yep,
All right. Every other day, and then we'll
every
see if we
other
need to
day. Yeah,
up that if you're accelerating,
yeah,
which I suspect we will be.
yeah. But look, here's yeah.
Okay.
I mean, this
All right.
was logins. This was logging in with Ethereum. I was
That's
pleased
neat.
with that.
That's neat.
Mm.
Where do I go to fuck around with this? Is it just that
Just
URL, or is that local
yeah,
to you?
just if you could just now just go to bolt.new and just make the UIs, because like even I'm struggling to make the bit that connects up to Artifact using bolt.new just because it doesn't have enough examples. So you're not
Yeah. Okay.
you're not gonna gain, you're just gonna suffer unnecessarily. But if you can
Yeah.
sketch out a UI that you want, that would be gold. I mean, if someone came to me and were like, make me
Okay.
this UI, I'm like, sure, that's easy. But the hard part is, what should the UI be? So the more you have an idea on what you want it to be and do, the better.
Well, I can definitely give it a start for 10, and then see how people get irritated with it.
Yeah.
But for sure, I can give you a start for 10.
Yeah,
All
yeah.
right. That's what I'll do over the next couple of days then.
All right, cool, man. Okay.
Nice.
I'll
Accelerating.
just hang on. I will